Welcome to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up the series just as the snow fades at the end of winter. You can see it's the 22nd of February 1969. We've got about 1.3 million rubles, which sounds a lot, but it's not going to last long once we get the shipping going. But before we get into starting to do anything with the map, I want to say a big thank you for all your comments and feedback. As usual, you guys have given me so much to think about. And what I really like about your comments is you're not just telling me where I go wrong, you're also challenging some of the things that I do. And that makes me think a little bit more about what I am trying to do, and also in some ways justify what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go through a number of your comments. The first one is that somebody mentioned that building this gravel down here wasn't particularly that efficient and it really needed to be optimized. But if you actually look here, you see I've actually put in a railway construction yard here, which is to go with this. Now, what I want to emphasize is really this is a temporary construct. One, to drive the construction of the industry in this area, and two, so that I can lay railway tracks up through here. But eventually all this will be torn down and be replaced by something else, simply because once the bandwagon moves on and we're constructing away from Portsmouth, I mean, this gravel yard will no longer be necessary, is probably the polite way of saying it. So that's the first thing. The second comment was about splitting my grids, and it was a very valid point. I mean, what I'm doing is a fairly high risk strategy, because if I don't get the workers in here, you can see the workers are a little bit low at the moment. What could happen is that if I can still draw power from the border, but the part of the grid that goes off this way won't be able to draw power. Now, in the long term, that's not such a great risk, because what I'll be doing is, if I come up here and show you, come up to about here, you'll see somewhere in here, if I click on this, you'll see that we've got two power takeoffs here. And what will happen eventually is this power will come across here, or along here, and then probably down to here. And then what will happen is this lower grid will connect up to it, because eventually we're going to have multiple power stations. I mean, ideally, what I would like is to have at least one, possibly two nuclear power stations up here, because what I want to do is build both the single reactor power station and the dual reactor power station up here. So yes, there is a risk in the short term, but eventually in the long term, once the grid starts to connect up and we've got supplementary power stations, I am toying with the idea of a geothermal power station, probably out here. But that's all for the future. Now, moving down to the industry in this area, I've had a couple of questions about that and whether I was being a bit too ambitious. And I do agree that maybe I was pushing things a little bit too hard. Plus, I've had a little bit of a rethink, because what I want to have is a shipping dry dock about here. If you actually look at this, you'll see that that takes 400 workers. So to keep this going efficiently, and with dry docks, you really got to get it efficiently, because ships take a long time to build. So to produce them effectively, that means I'm going to need 1,200 workers in there. And then I think if we come to steel industry, that's going to be another 1,500. So that's 2,700 workers. And then originally I was going to have an oil refinery, but what I'm thinking now is chemicals, because again, if I go back to here, you'll see that when you're building ships, you've got to have plastics, mechanical components, electro components, and electronics and fabric. And a lot of those actually depend on chemicals. So what I want to do is get a chemical industry here. And I was originally planning on putting my clothing industry over here, but I'm now starting to think, if we're going to manufacture chemicals here, well, what I would like is a fabric factory and possibly one or two clothes factories. And of course, up in this area here, we're going to have aluminium, and aluminium needs chemicals. And if I show you that, where is it? It's in metallurgy. You can see that the alumina plant needs 2.6 tons of chemicals a day at maximum production. This needs 2.5. So just to drive the aluminium industry, we're going to need 5 tons of chemicals. And of course, one of the problems is that if I come down here and show you, if we go to the chemical plant, see the chemical plant production is pretty weak, because it only produces 0.8 tons of chemicals a day. which is nowhere near enough. So what I'll be going for, and I don't want to go too much over the top, I actually quite like these chemical factories. Where is it? I've got to find it. Quite a nice chemical factory here. It's actually modelled on a building in Poland, if I remember correctly. There we are. I've found it. It's just here. Chemical plant. You can see this produces 2.7 tons of chemicals a day. So what I'll be probably doing is putting in a couple of these. That would give me 5 tons a day with 2 of these. And then the other thing I also like about this, when you compare them to the vanilla version, is these have got lots of connections compared to... I can't place it because I haven't done the research, if I remember correctly. Have a quick look. Chemical factories yet. So I do need to get the research done as well. But then that's way in the future. So if you imagine that I'm going to need a really big workforce down here to drive all these industries, that's the reason why I'm going to make... I'm looking for a population of around 10,000 in Portsmouth. And then over here, I don't think I've actually built the town centre here. And what I'm looking here is for a population in Gosport that can support the hydro dam and all the industries. And as Portsmouth grows, we're going to move all the construction offices off the bus stops here. So what we should be able to do is get this town into equilibrium. I want to check, just make sure. I was wondering if we get level 21s. And so also somebody pointed out here that I made a bit of a mistake down here with respect to the fuel supply to the docks. They said I actually needed a pumping station, otherwise the fuel won't be transmitted between the storage container here. So well, we need to add that to have a construction to that. And what I've actually done is I've flipped this back to a 300-ton small storage, because instead of having the 2 connections now, we got the pipe runs across to the pumping station here. And something else I just want to check. Yes, this is finished. So what I want to do is tag you in here. So yeah, big thank you for the person who pointed that out, because that would have been a bad mistake, because I would have had to tear all this down and rebuilt it. Now, another comment I got, and this didn't actually come through the video, this actually came from a friend of mine who actually pointed out that docks act like customs offices. So this bus station here is actually a bit redundant, because what he was telling me was that to pick up tourists from a dock, the bus has actually got to go into the dock. So what we'll be doing is, once this is built, we'll be giving that a try as well. Now, the other thing also is we're building this down here. And what I'm looking at is we're going to need distribution offices to get this built. So up here, what I'm thinking is to sort these distribution offices out. They're a little bit of a mess at the moment. We've got this one here that's kind of got a mixed role, which I don't like. And so is this one. You can see they're not fully developed at the moment. But what I'm going to do, and I know some of you think, oh, he's a bit crazy about this, but I'm going to put 2 more distribution offices in here. And I'll explain. So this one here, I want to put a small one in. I want it to be quite big, because this is going to take over responsibility for all my fuel. And then what I want below this is another one, which will be for distributing the what we call it, the goods down to this warehouse and the open store here. And the idea is that we're going to get mechanical components and electrical components in here. We're also going to get bricks, prefabs and boards into here, and it's going to be these 2 offices up here that are going to drive that process. And the first one is going to be very much about being able to distribute the fuel. So I know where all the fuel distribution is in one office. In fact, let's just name these straight away. So I'm going to call you Gosport Fuel Distribute, I call it that. And then for you, I think if you name them when you first place them, you actually building supplies. I don't know if I don't think I can get much more in there. And just make sure these get picked up. These have been picked up by the Gosport Road crew, so they should be able to build that. So we'll get this in here, and that will be able to support this process over here. And I think that is about it. So while this is all trundling through, because we're going to need to get this done and built up, we certainly need this built. So what we need to do now is just get all this put together, and it's going to probably take most of this video to do it. But while that's actually happening, I want to go up to over here, because This is going to be my expansion center. And what I want out here is a vehicle depot. In fact, I need to place a couple of vehicle depots actually upon thinking about it. I'm just going to press control because this vehicle depot doesn't need a good quality road access, simply because it's just going to hold a couple of excavators and a couple of bulldozers, and there's also a very real chance that it will actually burn down because it's got way outside of fire protection. Now what I want to do up here is flatten this area here. If I show you the wireframe, kind of got a little bit of a kind of messy area here which I need to work on. And what I want to do is put a town up here of say 3,000-4,000 people who will then work on the aluminium area over this area. If I show you where the aluminium bauxite mines are, if I can find them, they're all kind of tucked in this area here. So what we're going to do is have some bauxite mines here, but we're going to have to level this area through because I'm going to put the whole of the aluminium production area up here. So many things to do. I'll just turn that off for the moment. And well, the other thing I want to do is put another vehicle depot down here, because we got a little bit of terraforming here. If I put this back on, so you've got a little bit of a bump there. And what I'm probably going to have to do is put the steel up here somewhere, but there's a bump there, so we've got to do some leveling through here. So I'm going to put another. We'll put it that way so it goes onto that mud road, and I don't have to press control. So we got that built there, but that's going to be for the long-term planning. I think we're looking good at the moment. And no, another problem I found was, and it's being built here, it's finished, so I need to get this added to the we'll put the Gosport Road construction crew on here. Yeah, there's actually a bit of a dead spot here power wise, so I want to put that in there. Have you been assigned? Yeah, you've been assigned a construction crew as well. I just need to keep an eye on what these guys are doing. You're working on the dock and a block of flats. I'm just wondering, this footpath, it doesn't look like it's actually connected to anything, which could be an issue. I think we'll get you there. If I can assign this, no, I can't. That's why it's not being auto detected. So we're gonna have to. I think if I come off of there to there, that runs through to there. That should then connect all these footpaths up. Okay. And I think if we get this built, then this office up here, which is being built, this is going to be the gravel distribution center here. And the other thing I also wouldn't mind is how's the we got capacity in here at the moment, and we got this being built as well. This is Portsmouth South construct working here. I think they can do it. The problem I've got is that I'm pushing my supplies here quite hard, and if I come right over here, apologies that I'm flipping across the map, you see I've got a little bit of a problem with traffic queue here, and a lot of that's to do with the fact that a lot of these are picking up the grain, I think, from the livestock farm. So what I'm gonna do, let's just check the livestock farm. I mean, how am I off the meat? Just wondering whether when we got a lot of cattle in the range, I'm just wondering if I can temporarily actually just name you as well. I'll sport for you meat crops, and I'll just name you. And what I'm going to do is temporarily suspend the supply of crops to that area there. We've also kind of flying a little bit close to the wind now in this area, because you can see here I've actually run out of crops for food production, and we're only in March, so hopefully we will have the necessary to get through. If not, life is going to be a little bit difficult. We got here 9 citizens not able to participate in sport and culture. What's going on here? I mean, we got sport here, so why can't you guys do it? Maybe I need to put some bit more sport into this area. When we got the private school, how's the university? Do we have a kindergarten down here? Actually, how is the kindergartens going? I thought I had a kindergarten down here. Although, mind you, they're not complaining that. They're just complaining about culture and sport. Let's see, if we put in... I mean, we could put a small theatre in. Have we got anything bigger than that? Got House of Culture. That's 5. Got a library. I don't think I've ever built a library. Got a post office. Does that add culture? These have got roads. We could put cinema up here. And it says 8 citizens cannot get food either. I think these guys are just being a bit finicky, aren't they? I mean, we got a little bit of food in here. We're flying a bit close to the line, but I don't think there's much else I can do about that, to be honest. I think we'll increase that to 25 because, yeah, there's people waiting outside the shop, isn't it? That's causing the problem. So we might need another shop in this area. Yeah, I think that's part of the problem is... Yeah, or maybe the place is getting a little bit too big. That's something that I haven't considered. I mean, everyone's happy. It's just that I think the population is just growing a little bit too big. So what we may need to do is consider putting in another shop in here. But where would I put it? I mean, I've kind of got myself a little bit penned in here. I think I would like to put culture and sport in here. We will put some... We'll just put a kind of standard sports field in here. That may just give me the edge. And of course it won't take long to build it. If I put that in there, and I think we'll just drop a small hotel in, not hotel, what we call it in here, theatre. Yeah, maybe it was just a spike in that. So sometimes it does spike and you get a few problems and then it all kind of disappears again. We've got a few citizens who don't want it there. So the key is never panic. We got, oh yeah, I put this block in just as a backup. Let me just get here. Okay, we've now, what we got here? This is the gravel distribution, but we've got nothing to distribute it to at the moment. And we're building this office block, tower block. Okay, let me just get up here. Because while we're here, might as well get in here. I think we're assigning you to Gosport Construction and Hellas Construction. Try and get that built. I don't think these guys are particularly that busy. Or is there going to be no excavators up here, is it? I can guarantee it. Let me just test it. Turn the wireframe on. Obviously the excavators aren't busy. And what I want to do is just give you an idea of what I want to do and leveling this area out. So we're just going to level this out a little bit. And we can also let the game run on and do its thing. We've got a kind of level area through here. I can push this out a little bit. If we start there, we'll kind of come into this area here. We can just kind of chip it away a little bit. Let me just come across like that. A little bit of a rise there, so just take that out and take that through to there. Of course, the road is rising, so we can't... Ah, okay, cancel. Should be able to do is fill this into here. We take you through to about there. That's actually rising a lot higher than... It's no good, is it? And cancel that. Okay, we're gonna have to come through and take that bump out. When it doesn't have to be dead flat, we just want it so that it's open enough to be able to take some... Yeah, I think we can cut back here. It must be like a rise here. We can come back and trim this back this way. Yeah, there must have been like a little bump there or something. Yeah, there's a rise there. You can see it, can't you? If I can kind of... Oops. And what we could do... So I don't want to spend too long doing this, because I'm aware that it is a little bit boring. But yeah, jolly old technical universities are often quite good for leveling. I know I don't build a lot of them, but because they've got this straight edge on the front here. In fact, if you turn it around this way, you can actually often see how the straight edge levels things out. We can just chop things across like this. See, this kind of slopes up a little bit there, doesn't it? So we could come in from here and just drop this down a little bit. I want to clean this up a little bit as well. Yeah, I think that'll work. Come here. Let's clean this up across this side. Probably should have worked from this side first time out. Kind of get this little bump out of the way here. I mean, I don't want to get it all sorted out. Yeah, if we can get that there, and then we can just kind of prune across here. Ground's kind of rising and falling quite randomly. Go up to 1.4 million. Let's get this done, and then we'll go back and see what problems there's developed since the last time. We've got a little bit of an edge there, but I don't think that's going to be that much of a problem. And we could probably, because what I could do is, I think I will put the road in. We say we come in through like that, and we got some space out here for more. So if I put the main road through there, I want to build it. I think what I'll do is I'll come back and polish this a little bit off camera later on, and we're just going to go back to here and see what mess has been developing over here. Because one thing I did put in was the rail construction yard here, and of course I've already talked about the sheer number of workforce we got to get here. So one thing I do want to work on is just make sure this is being built. Yeah, actually let's put the Haven't crew on this, because we're already in March and things are getting a little bit kind of icky. What's the food supply? Yeah, we've still got 257 food in the warehouse. We're okay. Down here we're going to need about 2,000 workers, or at least 1,000 workers on a regular turnaround. And there's no point trying to do that with buses. So what I would like to do is put in a train station up here, but first we're going to put in another row of these big tower blocks here. So we'll just come here, and residential, I think it's these, they're 377, and I think if we can line that up a little bit there, start there, and I'd like to get, say, about 4 of them along here. That out, it's going to have to kind of curve back a little bit. So we've got another 4 tower blocks here, and we're going to put a path right across the back like that, and then eventually we'll connect all this in. That gives me this area here where I want to put in the train station. What's the capacity? 1500, 600. I think we're going to put a big train station in, or the bigger one. And we put that in, say, about there. Also have to connect it up with the road, like that. I'll come in here. And we've got a nice little corner here, which I can basically take the rail off. We're actually dead straight up. No. Now, the problem I've got is where to put the crossover. Now, the type of train we're going to be running from here is going to be like a train set. It's not going to be like a great big long train. What we're going to be running is small but frequent. So it's possible that, considering this is a big station, we put in, oops, stop messing about game. We put in the crossover about there and accept that. That will then run the train down into here. And so we've now got this finished. So we got this here set up. How's the distribution offices going here? Portsmouth construction office. Who the heck are you? Oh, that's finished. Okay. Now I've got an idea for that construction office. It's again comes down to your comments. And I think we'll just put Gosport construction onto this. It's local to where they are, so they should be able to handle this. Looks like this one's finished as well. So we'll put you. No, stop. What? Oh well, we gave him a little bit of a shove there. And we'll put haven't supply on. Yeah. He made a mistake there. I never actually started to purchase it. So, well, we spent a little bit of cash on it. So, what was this? Oh yeah, this one here. And what someone suggested is a variant of the supply crew where they just deliver the goods and a full-blown construction one. And this is what you could call a Groundworks crew. So we're actually going to rename this. We're going to call them the Portsmouth Groundworks. So we're just going to call you Portsmouth Groundworks. And of course, you haven't built this yet as it's still in process, so we're going to have to put you up to here. And we want you to put in gravel. We want asphalt. And we want concrete. Where's the concrete plant? I'm not going to put any workers in. I think that is the main groundworks. If we come over here and just look at this, you can see most groundworks consist of concrete, gravel and asphalt. And so what you do is, we're going to do now is we're going to put in, oh, we got, yeah, gravel distributions ready. And what we're going to buy here is we're going to buy about 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 dumpers. Go with 3 excavators, a couple of concrete mixers. Well, you're 80, you're 87. We'll have a couple of concrete mixers. And oops, we've got auto search on. Take this off again. Thank you, game. Because they're all wandering off out of the jobs. Maybe we'll get another dumper for the moment. So what we've got now is we've got 3 excavators. Actually, I'm going to put, we've got 3 excavators, 5 dumpers, 2 concrete. And what we should be able to do then is when you've got a new building that needs a little bit of a shove to get going, say for example this one here, what you can do is a supply, put you in there. And what that will do is not only will they deliver the goods, but they will also do the stage 1 groundworks. And what they should do is do that without having any workers in them. So that's what we're going to be doing. In fact, I think what we could do is just give this a little bit of a go. with respect to, say, this block here. What we're going to do is we're just going to assign Portsmouth Groundworks to it, nothing else. And if it all goes to plan, what we should get is this brought right up to the Groundworks, to the next tier up. So that's how that construction office works. Yeah, I'd love to start moving bricks and other items down here. But what we can do is we can set the limits. And we certainly don't want wood in here. We certainly don't want aluminium in here. And what I want is, we're going to be importing steel using ships, so we're going to need a lot of ships. So actually I think you come up to there. We're going to improve the iron oxide. We're going to reduce the boards down to 84 tons. I think we can reduce the bricks down to 87 tons. Put the prefabs down to, say, about 123 tons. I think it's going to be 286 tons of steel. I can imagine how much 286 tons of... I think what we might do is just stick that back a little bit. 97 tons of... I think that will work, so we'll leave that there. Of course, we got this one as well. I think we'll just leave this one open-ended for the moment, because what we're going to get in here is mechanical components and electronics. And we got that built there. How's the fuel going? So I've suspended the production here, so I want to... So I suspect it suspended the supply of crops. But this is still consuming the crops, and that should reduce the queue here a little bit, because we won't have those trucks in the queue. And we've got a last chance to buy. And another option we could use here is trolley buses as well. But I don't really want to push my luck too much with that yet. Actually, we can get the Groundworks crew on this one as well. Because they can get in and do that as well. How about here? Yeah, your Groundworks as well. And this is not going particularly... Oh, it's getting there. Was it still mechanical components? Going on with mechanical components is probably held up in this queue here. I really need to start moving mechanical components down here as well. Mechanical and electrical components. Who's current? At the moment we're only delivering them to here, aren't we? Let me just see. What are you delivering? I would rather keep you open for meat. Yeah, you're delivering concrete at the moment. And once this is built, we'll move the... So all at the moment, all you're doing is moving bitumen and concrete. Okay, actually, I just had a thought. I've got a distribution office here doing absolutely nothing. If we buy a couple of covered holes, I don't. How big a covered hole would I want? I mean, that will move 6.5 tons of and 4.5 tons of electrical components. That's 62 miles an hour. 60 miles an hour, 70. That will move. I mean, that one, that T138 covered is pretty good actually. We're going to get a couple of those, and then what we're going to do is be a bit kind of cavalier here. It's going to mess up things a little bit, but and then what we're going to do is bring you down to here and unload. And also escape. So you've got 32 tons and you've got 22 tons. If we push that up to say 50, and what we'll do is we'll move mechanical electrical components down to here, because that's going to be closer to where we're actually going to be building. So we got that underway. Yeah, so we've now got the mechanical components arriving. Actually, that's what did I do there? You're meant to be picking up from there, not from. We'll just get rid of you. Don't want you clogging that warehouse up. How's the food going? We're doing okay with food. Not sure where those crops are coming from. Have I got anybody delivering crops to us? These guys must be still picking up a little bit of crops from somewhere just to keep this thing going. I mean, they could be coming from here. But look, as far as I can tell, that's completely empty. Right, we've now got this nearly built. This is built. So what I need to do now is get this set up. Need some vehicles, yes. And again, covered holes. And we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put about 8 of these in here. And what you're going to do is unload here. And then what we're going to do is work our way through the fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Right, so we've got the maximum number of fields, and what I'm going to do is just remove one. And then when this silo's finished, we'll assign this silo to here. What I want to do is come to here. Where are you? I really do need to sort these distribution offices out. We're going to get a couple more covered holes in here. And then we're going to add you as a pickup. And you're going to collect everything from there. When you've got something, when this is finished, we'll add this one to it as well. That's the idea. Right, where's my construction offices? I think we're going to make the change for the electrical components and mud components here. We'll put you down to there. And we'll do exactly the same for him. We're going to assign you. Oops, gone too far. Again, it's going to cause some disruption, but I think in some ways that will work better than having components here. Although we have to keep an eye out to make sure. Missing concrete mixer. Why do you need a concrete mixer? Ah, this. Okay, you guys have got a job. Didn't realise that wasn't finished. Let's just get back up here and see what's going on up here. Oh, look at that, nice and green, and it's a little bit lumpy bumpy though. Right, we're building this here. We've got roads going down through here. This will eventually be built as well. And eventually what we'll have here is a fire station and everything else to do with a small town. Right here. Yeah, new vehicle type available. A tanker. Well, what else do I need to do? Oh yeah, next thing I want to do is put a depot in, because we got the construction here, and I think probably I've got this space here which is now effectively redundant, because we're not going to bring the town down any further than this. And you can build the spot construction. This has been built, so maybe people aren't going to be so upset with then once we've got this built, we'll be okay. And this is a reserve building at the moment. In fact, I think what we'll do is we'll put the Portsmouth Groundworks crew on that, just to take it up to another tier. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. We're just going to put in no, I don't want a long train, I want a short train depot. And what I'd like to do is kind of wedge it up into this corner as tight as I can get it. You can get it there. on, game. No crossing allowed. Okay. I should be able to do that. What's up going on here? Because it's probably the bridge connection here that's causing the problem. I'm going to come up, put you onto that one. I'm going to run you into that section there. And then run you into that section there. We'll just drop you into there. Because we're never going to run short trains from here. And of course this one is only really to get trains up here to deliver the aluminium, because eventually we will break this horrible mess here. I mean, what tracks do they hit? Yeah, these are... Come on guys, can you stop messing about and... Okay, let's just have a quick look. Anybody not doing anything? I mean, we got this crew over here. I don't think they're doing anything. Honestly, they've got loads of footpaths to do. Haven't road crew, what are you doing? You're fairly busy. You're still working on that grain storage. What's holding up that grain storage? Because we're in April, game. And I need to... Concrete. I think just for the final run out on this video, we're just going to speed the game up and see if we can get things done. Because I've done most of the planning I want now. We just need to get through some of this stuff here and get it built. See, at the moment the population here isn't big enough to be able to support any other activity here, so we're still needing Gosport to provide the support. Actually, we don't need just put a gravel road in there just for support purposes. I mean, overall Gosport is looking pretty good. In fact, I'm tempted to kind of whip some population out of here. Maybe from, if we pull a few population out from kind of selected blocks, say about 30 from there, maybe a few more from here. You're still not full, as these are full. And let's put a few more into here. Just want to keep building this population up. Electronic spirituality kindergarten. 7 citizens cannot get a kindergarten. Okay, so it looks like we got a bit of a problem growing with the kindergarten. So maybe I need to put another kindergarten in here. I mean, this could be quite a nice location for one, actually. So kindergarten. Okay, we're going to go mod. I think I actually quite like this one here, but it doesn't. It actually could fit in there quite nicely, couldn't it? And it wouldn't be obtrusive. So we put it there, although that would interfere with that. Wow, that is a little bit over the top, isn't it? So what's the... It's very small for the size it is. I mean, in some ways it does kind of fit with the scale of the area. Okay, let's just put the kindergarten. I don't ever recall building this, so we're going to build it just to see what it looks like. We put that one in there. It doesn't need a road either. Okay, what we're going to do is put this here, because this will service... Yeah, we'll put that there, because that will service here and here. And hopefully that would be ready by the time this really starts to keel over. Then we can put another kindergarten down here, because we're going to have more houses here. How's the schools? The university's doing good. Actually, do we need to do any research? I think we're going to do some chemical research. We've got waiting professors again. I think that might be due to the fact that we got lots of people without jobs and things like that. I don't really want to put another university in. I think it's because we're getting a bit of a population. We've got 194 unemployed workers at the moment, and you can actually see my education level is actually lower than the number of children between 7 and 21. So the education level is going. So I think if people can't go to university, it's not the end of the world. These guys are self-construct. What we can do is get you on that as well. Wow, we finished this. That was quick. Right, we've now got this built. So I think if we can just put this in here and get that built. Right, so we've now got a here, and of course you're going to be hold gravel. We're going to get ourselves, wow, I'm spending a lot of money. I think we'll go for all 5 dumpers, and then you're going to pick up gravel, and you're going to come down to here and unload. I think we'll set you to 50% for the moment. But yeah, I mean that would be what, nearly 1,000 tons. I think 1,000 tons would be enough to get things going here. Right, these guys have done the groundworks, I think, isn't it? Yeah. So what we need now is to assign. We'll get Havant construction on it here. And what we'll do is we'll put the Gosport construction onto these, as we actually you can Gosport construction can do 2 of these, and Havant construction do this one. There's no point putting the ground crew on it, and hopefully, yeah, we've got the components here, so technically this should be put together quite quickly. The other thing we also need to do is, yeah, we'll put Havant construction on that. And of course, I haven't actually started this. I've kind of missed this. So we'll get Portsmouth Groundworks on that, and he can get this in because we need this to deliver the fuel. Come up to back up to here. Right, this is where I want to. What we're going to do is buy an oil tank here, and you're going to pick up from there fuel. And what we're going to have to do now is find all the things. So we'll increase you to 50%, and you to 50%. No, oh, you're up to 50%. It's copying. Of course, we're going to have to go down here and make you 90%. Make you 50%. And over here, you 90%. And and then you 50%. And what I need to find out is who is delivering. Oops, thank you again. That's fuel distribution. It's general supplies, isn't it, that's been supplying the fuel up till now. And I just want to kind of take these guys off of this because it's just messy. I'm just going to take you out here. Take you out. Take you out. Take you out. Take you out. And then where are you picking the fuel up from? And take you out. And your job is now going to be in there. He's going to complete that job, isn't he? What should happen now is these ones who were where was general supplies? Meat supplies. Where's general supplies then? That's cement. Ah, general supplies was up here, isn't it? So let me just find you. I want you to move to. Yep. And you as well. You go to there as well. And then we'll just let this settle down and see how it's going to work. Can't remember if did I put all the machinery in here. Yes, I've got all the machinery in here. All the fields are growing. And we've now got this set up. So what we need to do is add you to here. And you're going to unload at this one here. You have to rename these. And then over here, where are you? You're going to pick up from here. So that means that these guys will collect all the crops as when the harvest comes in. They will put them into these two silos, and then this distribution office over here will pull in the results of that. You've got the gravel starting to appear here. Self-construct. I think we're going to put you onto there for the moment. In fact, I think we'll put you onto here as well. I don't want to put too many on here just at the moment. And have you got any jobs yet? So you're working on the docks, the cargo harbour, unfinished conveyors. So much to do, so much to do. I mean, these guys busy. Yep, they got stuff as well. Hopefully this will build. Wow, I can imagine how much I've spent on vehicles. Let me just have a look. Yeah, we spent 232,000 rubles on vehicles. I need to build that money back up again, but it's going to be worth it in the long run because we're going to get things coming together quite quickly now, hopefully, and then I'll be able to get some momentum and build this out here. We've now got this here. I think for the moment we've got a long way before this gets built up. So I think what we'll do is we'll hold off allocating fuel to here, but we'll set you to be a fuel depot. We've got a nice pile of electronic components and audio components in here. So the last thing we really need to get our distribution systems up and running is to get this finished. And it is going there quite nicely. I think the big issue is steel. Look. What have you got? I think we'll assign you that kindergarten. I think I'd like to get that built. How much? Actually, we'll put the. Where's my Groundworks crew on it? Get the Groundworks crew on that. Get that built. We've now got our city hall here, but of course we haven't got enough staff in here to show the stats. Oh, we've had a fire. Where was that? Didn't get a lot of fire. Wow, if I'd burnt that down, that would have been something else, wouldn't it? So this is working nicely. This is really lagging. Mind you, it helps if I actually put a proper construction crew on it, isn't it? I think I am going to finish this residence off here. This will just be our overflow, because I really want to make sure that I've got the workforce in here. Yeah, see, that's holding up really nicely. Now, I'm aware that I've gone over time, but I just want to talk about one final thing. What about this bridge? What the heck's going on with this bridge? Portsmouth Construction Office. I don't think these guys have really got anyone working with them, have they, to deliver the necessary. I mean, I think they're getting there. It's just a bit slow. Now, just to finish the video off, I just want to return to the chemical industry here. And if you're part of the chemical industry, in fact, we should have finished the research by now. Let me just find out. Yeah. The chemical plant needs wood, and what we could do is bring wood in from all over here, but I don't really want to ship wood in from halfway across the map. So I've got a little bit of an idea down here, and what I want to do is just finish the video off by doing this. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a wood cutting post. We're just going to kind of slip it in, say about here. I mean, if I could get that, maybe we'll angle it out a little bit like that, and then we're going to put in a small kind of open store here. Will that fit in? Come on, you can do it. Yes, you can. I'm just going to slip in a small open store there, and then in anticipation of the future, I'm just going to put in lots and lots of trees around here like that. And then what this will be is the supply of logs for the chemical industry here. Actually, there's something else I want to do as well. I've just noticed this, and I've been thinking about this for a little while. What we got here? Site Tower 2. This is 75 still. I think we'll go for the cheap one because I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm kind of would like to put up a site tower here because I think that would fit in with the tourist. And I built one of these when I did the overview of the update, but I've never built one in a proper Let's Play. So, and I don't think we actually need a special road up here. I mean, we want to make it look a bit scenic, don't we? So we could want to put that in there like that. And I think it'd be quite fun to have a sight tower up here, because if I zoom in down like that, I mean, if you look here, I mean, it's got quite an impressive view. So I think that kind of fits with the theme of the tourist town. So I think on that note, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.